Thank you for coming to Kitchen Cutters. Today we're going to show you something really fun. We're going to do some clipper work, and I just want to show you what we're into. We're into wall clippers. We love our wall clippers. They're from Sterling, Illinois. They're a great company. They've been around for over 100 years. They are the art of barbering. Today we have our professional clipper, which shows different attachments. These attachments range from a 1 to a 5, the thickness and the length you want that hair, which is great. We also have trimmer clippers, which also has a small attachment on it that you can just work sideburns and things like this. We're going to show you how to use these tools, and we'll be right back at Kitchen Cutters. So here we are. That's all right. Thanks for coming back to Kitchen Cutters. We're here with Stephanie again. We have our friend Cameron here, who we're going to work some clipper work on him today. Get right into it. Tell us what you're going to do.
All right, so my lovely friend Cameron came with his hair washed and cleaned and ready for me to go. So we're going to start with clippers to get some of the length off the back and sides, and then he's going to wear his top a little longer, so we're going to do scissors with a comb on top. But when that time comes, I'll spray it down. To start off, you want the hair dry to work with clippers first, though. So for this clipper cut, we're not going to go terribly short. We're going to leave it a little on the longer side. So we can always take hair off, we can't put it back on. So to start, I'm going to stay on a little bit on the longer side, and then I'll work my way shorter as I go up.
No fear. I like that. I love clipper work.
Okay.
Just dig right in.
And so for some of the stuff he showed me, it's going to be a little longer through here, so I'm not going to take the clippers all the way up there just yet. We're going to go...
So you're basically bulking it right out.
Exactly. So for the haircut he wants, we're going to leave the top longer, and then we are going to leave in here a little longer. So I'll probably work on that part more with scissors than I will clippers. But we are going to take just around his ears and the back of his neck a little shorter. So that's where we're going to put on our next guard length. I'm going to try and keep kind of an even line all the way around as I take it off on the bottom. When you do this, you're going to notice you're going to go in first, and then as you come up, you're going to kind of angle up and out. That's going to help you blend lines later on, so you don't get such a distinct solid line. It kind of helps feather it off. So we're not going to be totally done with the clippers yet. However, now that we've got all this length out of the way, we're going to start working through the top and getting this shaped a little more. And then when I go back through to do around the ears and the back of the neck, we'll make sure everything's blended. And that I actually like to use my edgers a lot for, more than the clippers, because they're easier to control. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have a few different lengths going on now. So the top is still going to be our longest point, so I'm going to save that until I'm done with getting some of this length off the sides and work my way up. So what I'm going to do is start separating part of it out so I don't get the longer pieces in the way, because I don't want to cut those off. Okay, you can kind of see from one angle that there's kind of a point here. We're just going to go through and blend that in. And I'm going to angle my hands out a little bit so it still keeps the top layer longer than anything else. Okay, so now that I've got a little more bulk off around the sides, I'm going to go around the same areas I just trimmed and start doing a little bit of what we like to call scissor over comb. So I'm going to use my comb as my guide, kind of like a guard on a clipper, and use it to just blend the longer pieces into the shorter ones. So what I'm going to do is just get under, and you're going to pull it out away from the head, especially with so you'll look at the clipper length and make sure you pull it all the way so it kind of blends in, and then just blend in whatever extra comes out. There'll be little corners. Okay, so we're a little bit more blended on the sides, not 100% there, but enough where we need to start blending this part in. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna comb it all back to start. And then I'm gonna ask my lovely client, Cameron, on which side he would like to wear his part, mainly. Will you point out which side you would like to?
To my right, please, this way.
So what we're gonna do is just re-wet it, and we're gonna kind of comb it into the style he wants to see where we're at line-wise and how much length we need to take off. Okay, so once you get kind of an idea of where your client would like their part, now we need to go around, because obviously we don't want to have a haircut that has this much length next to this short, because now we're getting kind of into a bowl cut a little bit, which I'm sure Cameron could pull off, but not the look we're going for today. Okay, and in the style that he likes, this part is going to be a little longer than this part under here. So we don't necessarily need to make it matched up. We just want to make sure that when it does lay on top of it, it's going to be a much more blended line versus on this side where it's still long, it's just a solid kind of blunt line. It doesn't make sense. Okay, as we work around to the back, we are going to take this part just a little shorter than the sides in the front, because the way he's going to style it, this is going to lay more flat, where this is going to be pushed back a little bit. So we need a little more length to be able to push back. Okay, so now we've got a little bit more of the sides on the upper edges blended. We're going to comb it right kind of back into our style again and kind of reassess where we're at with our lines and our length. And we're going to start working on the top now. So now we're going to work, so we've already kind of blended this one side in. So we're going to work with this chunk on this side to start here. So what we're going to do, just going to start kind of sectioning it off a little bit here. So what you're going to want to do is pull it up in sections, and you're going to want to make sure the head curves. So you want to make sure you're pulling it out at straight angles from it. And you're going to just use your other pieces of hair as a guide as you go along here. So once you get your next row in section, you just take a little bit from what you just cut and put it into the next row, and that's going to kind of act as a guide of where to go off of. And since his is going to be a little bit longer in the front, we're not going to make it completely even with the back. As I'm going up, I'm kind of pulling my fingers at an angle, so the front gradually gets just a little bit longer, but we don't want it to be drastic. So just a slight incline. Okay, so like for this side, where we started our guide on the very top, this piece right here, we're not going to want to take that too much shorter for the style he wants, because that's going to need to go over. If it's too much shorter, it's going to pop straight up. So we're not going to go, that's kind of a good marking point as far as we want to keep that blended in and not take that too much shorter in that area. And coming around the sides like this is where you're going to start gauging that cowlick in the back. Most people have them. And so you can see where it's at right now. It's on the verge of wanting to stick straight up. So we're not going to take that cowlick too much shorter, because if you want to leave it a little longer, this is about how short his can go, or you have to take it really, really short. I'm going to get it as close as I can for right now, just because his hair grows so fast. We'll want to make sure he gets length lasting out of this haircut. Now I'm going to do a little work with our edgers. So they're a lot smaller than the clippers. So it's going to be a lot easier to make his lines straight, get around his ears, get all those fun little corners. So I'm going to start over on the sideburns and just take one of my clipper combs. You're going to put it nice and flush against it and just get all that length off. And then sometimes when people have like little curls and stuff, you have to kind of just go in and just finish the edges off. And then unless your client or person tells you something they want specifically with the hairline, I normally like to just go with the natural way it looks. So I'm going to get rid of some of this extra fluff down here first, because it's going to make it easier to see my line. So we're getting close to being finished with our cut here. So because Cameron has such nice, thick, straight hair, we are going to go through the top and sides with our texturizing scissors. So they have teeth. So what happens is, unlike a regular scissor blade, is it's going to get every other hair and not make a straight line. So it's just going to add some texture and debulk a little bit. So as it grows out, his lovely thick hair doesn't grow sideways like this. It's going to make it a little easier as it grows out. So for Cameron's hair, because he does have thick hair, there's going to be a lot of products that probably don't hold it in place all day long and make it so it falls forward, which would be kind of annoying for him. So we want to make sure we have a good product that has good hold. One of my favorite men's pomades is called Mess Up by Osis. It's got strong hold, and the more important part that I like for nowadays trends is it's matte. So it's not going to be like gel, it's not going to be the greaser look, it's not going to make your hair look like it's still wet and like you freshly got out of the shower. That's not the greatest look anymore. And this is where you can kind of use it to stick pieces down or up, or so he still has a little length through here, so it's not clipper short all over, but it's nice and tight around the ears and back. So this haircut will last him a little bit. So if you were to get this touched up in 3 to 4 weeks, it's gonna take you half the time because you have a nice guideline to follow all the way around now.
Great job. That looks really good. Ryan, thank you. Oh, I mean, Cameron. No. Ryan Reynolds, right?
Yes.
There you go.
But yeah, great job, if I may.
Yeah, you can play with it.
I mean, that is just fun. I really like how that weight came out of it. Gave it that great texture. We appreciate that, and thank you for coming to Kitchen Cutters today. Stephanie, great job. Great job. I like all that clipper work too. That was so much fun. It was fun to use clipper and scissor over comb, so that was kind of fun to do. We're going to be back again. We'll be back shortly with another cut. We don't know if we're doing, what are we doing, clippers next?
We're going to find, yes, clippers.
We'll find out.
With
We have a
time.
special guest coming in for another haircut. We'll be right back.